Hi guys, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today we'll be talking about the patch and hotfixes for October the 3rd. So let's get started. To begin with, they talk about stability. They've addressed an issue where an infinite loop could occur when hitting Guardian rank experience ceiling. Now on to general fixes and improvements. The Hollow Point Guardian rank skill has been re-enabled and no longer damages allies. They've addressed a reported issue where some players were unable to unlock the Ultimate Vault Hunter achievement on Xbox, as well as an issue where mouse functionality may have been lost when hot joining a friend's session on PC. And they also addressed an issue where some players' inventory would not be saved in their bank. Now, I have had this problem way too many times and have lost over 100 items to this bug. So hopefully it's properly fixed now. Please God, make it be fixed. Now what they write next is, our goal is to make sure all 3 action skills for each Vault Hunter are viable, but we have noticed some skills have been outperforming others. To encourage more build diversity, we have made some adjustments to FL4K and Moze this week. We also looked at a few boss fights and made balance changes to make their combat more enjoyable. Finally, we went over some enemy behaviours that could have affected mission progress and adjusted some attacks to happen with more frequency. Now for the Vault Hunter adjustments, they've changed FL4K and Moze. For FL4K they've written, Rack Attack is a great consistent damage output, especially when paired with anointed gear. The base skill still seems to be lacking, so Rack Attack now has a guaranteed status effect on any enemy that it hits. Leave No Trace was returning much more ammo than intended, and we have added a re-trigger delay to keep its ammo return within expectation. Barbaric Yap has an increased bonus, as we didn't feel the amount of investment had an equal payoff. In addition, we felt that FL4K pets were demanding too much attention, which was interfering with players trying to stand still for any length of time, so we've disabled the ability for them to move you around. So what they've done with FL4K is, the Rack Attack status effect has been increased to 100%, Leave No Trace now has a re-trigger delay of 2 seconds, Barbaric Yap stat bonus increased by 100%, pets no longer push around player characters, and touch pet prompt is now lower priority, and should no longer interfere with looting or vending machines. It seems like they're doing a lot with FL4K's Leave No Trace tree, with them lowering the crit damage, and now them lowering the chance of ammo getting put back into the Leave No Trace. Now for Moze. They say, Infinite Grenades is not an intentional build for Moze, even if it is hilarious. To lower the power and spam of this build, a re-trigger delay has been added to the grenade portion of Means of Destruction. So Means of Destruction now also has a re-trigger delay of 2 seconds. Moze didn't really have any changes in the past patches and hotfixes. I think they should really be working on the mech, because the mech itself is very underperforming and it's awful in Mayhem mode. So I think that's something they should look at next. For Miscellaneous Changes, they've adjusted the balance of Gigamind, Katagawa Ball and Billy the Anointed. They've put, these 3 boss fights had concerns with their health and shield that made their combat loops more difficult than was intended. Gigamind had a little too much health, so that was slightly reduced. Katagawa Ball will no longer regenerate its shield. We found that while players contended with adds during the fight, it would unfairly regenerate its shield, negating the player's progress. Finally, Billy had 25% of its health removed. We agree that this fight often dragged on needlessly. We will be monitoring each of these bosses and may make further adjustments in the future. Now, I agree with Billy the Anointed, because I remember playing through the story for the second time and having a problem soloing him with my gear, so that's a good change. But I'm not sure about Gigamind and Katagawa Ball. I didn't really have that much of a problem. But let me know what you think in the comment. Did you have a problem with any of these bosses? The next thing they've changed is that bloated racks no longer spawn so many rattlesnakes. This change should make the system of slaughter in particular much more fun, and I can agree. As playing an explosive Moze, I had quite a few problems taking down the bloated racks, and the amount of rattlesnakes was ridiculous. I mean, just look at this clip. I'm glad this has been changed. Now I'm quickly going to read off the rest of the miscellaneous changes. If you want to read the entire list, link will be in description. They've adjusted the cooldown values when they are displayed for Zane's skills. Amara's Glamour will now turn enemies on each other as described in the action skill, modified the loot spawn of Sarah the Supreme, Spider Ant Emperors occasionally wouldn't drill back out of the ground, which created potential progression blocker in the proving ground of survival. We have adjusted this so the issue has been addressed. Resolved an issue that could prevent enemies spawning while in Devil's Razor. Lavender Crawley's physics were adjusted to prevent them exiting the world like a pop balloon. I'm not too sure what that means. Further safeguarded Apollo from being launched out of the world as well. The Rampager will no longer enter an idle state at inappropriate times. Sewer and Slinger's attacks were addressed. Guardians now use all their attacks in playthrough 2. Guardian Wraiths now reliably use all their ranged attacks. NPCs in slaughter maps were reported to sometimes attempt to automatically revive players in the arena. Going forward, they will no longer attempt to revive players. And finally, they minimized the glow effect when opening Iridian ammo chests. And that's everything, guys. So let me know what you think about Flak and Moze's changes, guys. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. If you want to keep informed about the patch notes, please consider subscribing. It really helps. And I'll see you next time. Happy hunting.